Welcome to What Builders Don't Tell Their Clients with your host, Joel Miner. Listening to the show, you'll learn how to avoid the unnecessary pain and avoidable costs that commonly occur in the building and renovating process. Joel will also inspire you with his knowledge, experience, and ideas on how to make your home a place to suit your lifestyle for years to come.
Welcome to the very first episode of What Builders Don't Tell Their Clients. So today I'm speaking with Steve Glover from Paragon Homes. He specialises in the design and construct of custom-built new homes and also architectural homes. Now he's a Toowoomba-based builder, and we're going to be talking about the current situation that the world's in with COVID-19, how it's going to affect the building industry, and how it may affect you whether you're going through a current building or renovation process, and what things you can put in place to protect yourself. So it's going to provide a lot of opportunity for ideas. With the spare time a lot of people are going to have. So Steve, welcome to the show. Firstly, can you just tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into the industry?
Hey Joel, mate, thanks for the opportunity first and foremost. I think it's great to be able to talk building, especially in this time when things are a little bit up the air. But a little bit about ourselves. So my company, Paragon Homes, we kicked off in 2011, and prior to that, so I did my traditional sort of way into being a builder, doing an apprenticeship in carpentry, and that was about 2002, I think, after a short stint at university becoming a teacher, which quickly found that wasn't really the avenue we wanted to take, and then it really sort of happened by accident, I suppose. It was time, if you weren't going to go to uni, you had to go out and get a job, and got a job just labouring with one of Dad's mates who was a chippy at the time.
Yep.
And flowed on from there. Picked up an apprenticeship with one of the I suppose, more the prestige builders around Toowoomba here, which was really good. Got an opportunity to work with some older chippies, guys that are sort of did it the traditional way, and we did a lot of different things. It wasn't sort of in that project market where you really sort of knock them up each day and every day. You're doing the same sort of thing. So learned a lot of things. Being able, and very fortunate, I believe, to be able to have that opportunity to work under some fantastic tradesmen and learn the craft of carpentry, and then sort of flowed on from there. And it's probably a bit uncanny. It was actually the last financial crisis that we saw hit that really got me into building. Was happy trucking along being a subcontractor, and then the GFC hit in 2009, I believe it was.
Yep.
And the builder at the time had contracts fall over. Basically, work dried up, and it was sort of a conversation where it was fend for yourself, and it was a bit of a wake up call. It was like, oh, well, what am I going to do now? So that point again, like it was an opportunity. The downturn in site work, actually turning up, going to sites and physically building a house wasn't there. So it was an opportunity to do the extra study. So I did the Cert 4 in building at that time, and knocked around doing a bit of real estate maintenance to just to get a bit of income to pay the bills, and then from there on in we sort of flowed on. Started out as a sole trader, just trading as Steve Glover Building, and then into the company side of things with Paragon Homes. So I suppose nothing ever happens by accident, and sort of you get there different ways, but had the last financial crisis not hit, then I don't know whether we would be here where we are today, or whether we're just staying in our comfort zone, I suppose. So that's really where we are today. Like there's a lot of devastation, I think, around the economy at the moment, but the opportunities that it's opened up or will open up for different businesses is going to be there as well. So.
Yeah, I think too. A lot of people work a lot better too when they're sort of backed into a corner and they don't have much of an opportunity or much option to do something. They've got to do something. They don't have a choice. So
it's exactly it's that fight or flight. So you pack it up, give it up, and sort of throw the toys out of the cot and don't worry about it, or you have to aim up. You have to find different ways. You have to be creative, and that's really where we are at the moment. So.
And that's where the opportunity faces too. And like you said, the GFC, you've made a decision sort of 12 years ago to move into the extra study and provide opportunity to get you into the, run your own business and become a builder yourself. But, we're at another point now, 12 years later, that, that's going to provide opportunity elsewhere. As much crisis and damage that's going on in the world and the way the media is talking about things with COVID-19, Yeah, I think it's going to provide fair bit of opportunity for the businesses and people that can manage to sort of think their way out of it for the time being and basically go into survival mode.
Yeah, exactly. I think there will be a lot of, well, talking building businesses that will just shut the doors, sit around and wait for it to blow over and be back into it. But sort of we don't want to do that. We want to, like, yes, we're probably going to be limited on what we can do on the job sites physically and turning up, and obviously with social distancing and all the requirements we've got to adhere to. But the opportunity with being able to, I suppose, educate people at this time. If we do go into a lockdown situation where people's social activities are going to be very limited, there's going to be an opportunity with a larger audience there. Like a lot of people are going to be all over the Facebook, the Instagrams, and all that sort of thing, trying to fill in their days. So able to do something constructively, like you're doing with this podcast, and getting information out there, and sort of basically building a community around information. I think that's going to be massively where a lot of businesses look to go to, and it is to help people out, because again, I think on the other end of the side, as a client, I know there's going to be some economical hardship there for people who've lost their jobs, but if you are in a position to be able to move forward with a home or an investment or those sort of things, it's going to be a great opportunity, a great time to be able to do that.
Because I think,
with the crisis going on,
and a lot of people have got time to probably do a bit more research and sort of figure out what they do and don't like within their house, and they can sort of, start making lists of some of the things, because some people, like, they'll still be affected, but, doctors or nurses or, people that are going to be absolutely flat out for the next however long, when they get a bit of spare time too, they're going to have, the opportunity to do stuff to be able to create something if they're deciding to renovate or go through a building process also.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think a lot of people will realise, like you just did mention, that how their homes are, are built or created, the spaces in their homes, if they are actually suitable for their living requirements. Being stuck in a home, I suppose, is different to be able to just come home, drop your bags off, have a sleep, and go back to work
Yeah,
the next
exactly
day.
right.
So, and that's really why we changed our whole business philosophy around. We were set up with the project style, your standard plans and this and that, and steering people down that path. But we really wanted to get in and understand our clients. And I think that's the key to building. Like building a home, it is a massive investment, a huge financial investment. It's a big emotional investment as well. So to put in, like, around Toowoomba here, we probably nearly spent about $500,000 by the time you put your land and your house on, and that's your starting point. So if you're investing $500,000, you want to be able to get a home that sort of is going to tick the boxes of your requirements. And everybody's different. There's not a one size fits all for a home. Like traditionally, that's the process of the build. This is what the builders do. You get what they give you. So and that shouldn't be the case. It's your investment as a client, and right through from the design, like there's a lot of things we look at in regards to functionality, depending on the information we uncover through our systems that we use, our signature system process at the start. Like if you've someone who loves movies, doesn't cook and that, why would you want to put the bulk of your budget into doing a big flash kitchen with the ovens and that? So, and vice versa, if you're an entertainer, you don't spend time watching movies, why would you need a movie room? Why wouldn't you make it sure that flowing kitchen out to your outdoor area is going to serve the needs that you require? So it's a great sort of way to go about it. And these homes that people are going to be stuck in at the moment, I think they'll see that. And guys like you for renovations, how can we alter those homes to make sure that if something like this happens again, and who knows, we may not see that in our lifetime, we may do that just with how things evolve, but to make sure that if you are there, that your home is going to be a place that you can enjoy. You're not going to feel like you're trapped in a jail if you are locked in your home. You're going to be able to enjoy your lifestyle, still be able to get as much out of it as you can, just by basically having spaces in your home that promote the way that you want live your lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think with what you just said before, with like obviously if someone's not big on cooking, then why would they want to spend a lot of money on a kitchen? So I think
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
really good to. It's making sure the builder they're using or they're talking to actually understands where they're coming from and what exactly they're after, which comes back to maybe creating a bit of a list of the things they do and don't like doing within their home, because you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to have a sort of one size fits all sort of plan, because it's not going to suit the sort of personality that person's and the way they live also.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the funny things about the building industry, particularly in we'll call it the marketing or the advertising. So I do laugh at when you hear a builder say, we're the best value or great value. I was like, well, how can you provide value without even understanding what your client wants? Like you could
Yeah,
be,
exactly right.
yeah. It's like someone's trying to dig a hole and you sell them a pitchfork sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like the pitchfork was cheap. Yeah, that's great, but it's not going to do the job that you want it to do. So it's absolutely no value at all to you. So
Yeah, exactly right.
yeah.
So relating back to this COVID-19 and how obviously it's going to affect some homeowners that may be able to in a bit of a harsh reality at the moment we all have to face, but even if they're halfway through a build, they might be starting to stress out on some of the things that they may not have a job, or they may be concerned about the job they're working in may not be able to be there for much longer, and some of the things they might have to precautions or things they may have to put in place. And I guess also it's going to start slowing down the progress of jobs from your perspective or a builder's perspective as well, because of supply issues or transport or things things aren't going to be moving as quickly either. So
yeah, for sure. I suppose firstly on the financial side of things, and sort of I've been having conversations with my mortgage broker. We've got a build going for ourselves at the moment, a new display home, and those sort of things as well. And it is a tough conversation to have, but it is the reality that we face. Like you said, just then, people losing their jobs, like we've seen business closures, and we do feel for all those sort of the hospitality, all those side of the industry where you are really personal dealing with people, basically shut down. So that there's income's gone. Well, there is nothing there for those sort of guys. So if they're through building a home, I know that the hardship of that, and the reality is that the economy does need to go on. I think we'll see. Well, we have seen a bit of stimulus come through. In regards to from the government to do that, and I think we'll see more in whether it'll be specific to the building industry to help out people in that situation.
Or even employees, I suppose.
Completed. Yeah.
Also, that that have lost their job, there are incentives, or not incentives, but
there are.
To help people out, I suppose, for the time being. But at the same time, I suppose it's probably not going to be enough. But hopefully, it's enough to sort of be able to get by for the time being, and a lot of people just to survive.
Yeah, exactly. It as you say, it's not going to replace their income. And the thing is, I suppose too, if we are isolated, that our living expenses are going to come down on the flip side of that as well. You're not going to be able to go out and go to the pub or go and have a punt on the horses or do those luxuries that we do spend some time on. So
exactly,
I think we'll find that sort of there will be, I'm not saying that there'll be extra money that people aren't spending in their day-to-day living because they physically can't. And, and we're trying to get through to that.
And it will have to go elsewhere too, I suppose, because,
Yeah, and that's the stimulus, I suppose, they're putting into businesses with the tax. It is to keep. It's not really to jam it in your pocket. It is to get out there and spend it with these businesses that are really hurting.
Yep.
So with regards to the site sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, well, I suppose from a site point of view as well. So like obviously, if things are going to start slowing down on jobs as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Like we're doing absolutely everything we can to keep moving forward with the jobs. One, because like so many people rely on us. We use all our local subbies, all local suppliers, which are we know they're locally owned. So I feel the responsibility is, while we can, whilst adhering to the social distancing and the requirements, we need to be able to keep pushing forward, because these families rely on that income for them to live. So
Yep.
that's one side of things. But we have taken steps as well along the build process. So, for instance, when we might have had 2 or 3 trades on site at any one time, but we've had to expand the schedule. So when we're roughing in, the electrician gets his couple of days there too. The plumber will come in after that. So it might have stretched what is a rough in from a week to maybe 2 weeks, just so we're
getting sort of taking precautions as well, I suppose, just to try and do your part.
Exactly, because it is, as the government's made out, this isn't it's not a little issue, and we need to be responsible in our actions as well to ensure that we're not spreading the disease of the COVID-19, and make sure that basically all the precautions are in place, that that's not going to be even a possibility.
Yeah, and I guess as a builder too, you also do like a lot of face-to-face communication with either catching up with the homeowner or the client, or, you know, like you said, the trades are running through. So I guess there's, you know, you can improvise at some of the things. I'm assuming you're probably already doing also with, you know, online or going to like a Zoom meeting or something, you know, that, you know, you don't have to physically be in contact with people also, I suppose.
Yes, for sure. Like traditionally, well, we do have the display home, and we've actually closed that to public access now. So, but we're still very much open for business, and through those lines of communication that you mentioned, so either over the phone or a Zoom. The beauty of technology, if this happened probably even 20 years ago, we would have been basically shut down to a standstill. But now we're able to have a conversation, and we've got some upcoming clients as well. We will book in with our designer and also our clients and sit down in front of the computer. We can still have those conversations. We can still forward files and pictures and photos via email or file sharing.
Yep.
So the communication's there, and it's probably again one of the hidden benefit of what we're going to go through is the communication. They can be a bit lackluster between builders and clients.
Yep.
But by introducing these Zooms, like, again, through the design phase, but also like we try to keep our clients heavily involved or heavily updated throughout the build process. But to be able to, they can jump on their phone at lunchtime, organise a time, go to site, jump on FaceTime or Zoom or anything like that, and do a walkthrough. You can actually show them their home. They can ask you questions. Oh, what's happening in the bathroom here, or look at where you want to position a niche or something like that. Or and really, you can still give them all that experience. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as being on site, but the reality is we have to be able to improvise, and the show must go on, and we still need to communicate. We can't use this as an excuse. We can't meet you on site, so we'll just do what we do, because that's where you see in the build process, if you don't get that communication, that's where sort of breakdowns will happen, and it's too late at the end of the job.
To custard,
I thought this was going to happen, and this is that. And like, that's where it's real expensive. If you can keep your clients updated right throughout and involved, then you can pick up bits and pieces along the way. Because we do take for granted, builders, and everybody's been guilty of this. I've been guilty of this myself. Is we assume that the client knows what's in our head. Like, we see a plan and can vision what it's going to look like once it's completed. Our clients aren't builders. They don't deal with this all day, every day. So
exactly.
They're not. They can't do it. What they thought was going to happen in their head from the plans is totally different to what we knew was going to happen. So just making sure.
It's so common.
Yeah, so exactly, common. And that's one of the probably the most friction point, I suppose.
And I think, like you said, with them walking through and doing the communications, whether it be face to face or online with video or something, at least they can see it coming to life. And I think a lot of people or homeowners that are doing or going through a building process need visuals. They need something to be able to see, like a picture or something, almost like an end result. Or as you're going through, you sort of, like you said, the communication needs to be right there from the start to make sure that they can sort of, because a lot of times what they think and what the builder has are two different things.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's pretty much the way you get around those Well, one of the things I hate about the building industry is the people that build a home, and the first thing they say is a nightmare. I'd never do it again, because constructing a home, the actual building of a home, is a very simple process. Basically, every builder knows how to build a home, but it's just being able to communicate, make sure that we understand the clients, that we understand their expectations of us, and also they understand our expectations of them as well. So once we can put that all on paper, black and white, everybody is of an understanding, then the build process can actually be quite an enjoyable time, and it should be too, because it's one thing to get a great home, a quality home, as a lot of builders will tell you, but to have a great time along the way and actually enjoy it. We were lucky enough to hand one over last night, and the conversation we had with our clients at that time was everybody's told us about how much of a pain it was to build a home, but he said, "Oh, look, I'd go again tomorrow." So
yeah, that's awesome.
Like and that's the sort of things that really, I suppose, get the hands on your arms or hairs on the back of your neck standing up when you get that feedback from a client that it was an enjoyable process to build the home, and it really, that the reward we get for trying to do something different, to change the standard processes of what was accepted previously from the building industry.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, it makes you feel like what you've done is right, and it makes you want to do even better for the next one as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because really, all business is relationships. Whether you're building a home, whether you're selling them a pizza for dinner or whatever, it's about creating a rapport and a relationship where they had a great time. That's when they're going to be able to promote sort of what you did for them to the wider community.
Yeah, definitely. Also, creating, there's obviously going to be a bit of transport supply issues at some point. At this point in time, are you having much issues with transporting or getting gear or material side of things?
For the time being, touchwood, we've been pretty lucky. We are starting to see a few areas being a bit limited. I think it is a bit of a wake-up call for the whole country. We did ship all manufacturing is so heavily reliant on those international markets. So we are having a few drums with things like light fittings, switches, mainly of electrical.
Yep.
So those sort of things. The electrical cable, I know electricians have been limited to be able to purchase 2 drums of cable per day. So
yeah, right.
I think they typically go probably between 3 and 4 for a rough-in to do a home. So those sort of things are going to come in. I know it will happen. There's going to be more and more come through. We're constantly talking to our suppliers to
Keep
try and
updated.
foresee and pass it on to our clients. As soon as we know, we need to make sure our clients know that there could be a delay, and it is fair and reasonable. Everybody's been very reasonable about, they understand it. It's outside anybody's control
definitely.
at the moment. But a lot of the things where, like, China's massive in manufacturing, pretty much nearly everything's going through China as well. Even like our ColourBond coils that come over flat and we roll them into ColourBond. That's going to go. A lot of the steel is
from China also.
From
really,
China, yeah. So we especially when we send over the pure commodity that we send to them, they process it, sell it back to us.
Yep.
So, all your reinforcing steel in the slabs, those sort of things. That's what we're on watch for at the moment.
Yeah, at some point it's going to create a bit of an issue somewhere down the track.
It is going to create an issue, and I know, speaking to like the HIA or the master builders, have advice on their contracts to make sure that you are. Well, HIA initially was 50 days extra on a build time, so we try and take everything manageable, and there's things you can do as well. So whether that's sort of pivoting on the run and being able to change.
Adapt,
through the communications is, right, we can't get this product, can we substitute it with something else that is more available, or a local or an Australian-made product that we've got access to? One, support the Australian economy, but also make sure that home is going to still get the result that the clients desire.
Yeah, not settling for something less, I guess, in a way, so that they live and think, fuck, I wish we'd done something to, wish we didn't put that in, or, later on.
but still get their job progressing too.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
because you don't want to come to a standstill because it's costing everyone money at
it
the
is.
point too. They're paying interest on a loan, and you're paying money on an overdraft or whatnot as well too.
Exactly. You've got a cash flow issues there as well. But
Yep.
again, for the clients, that's one thing we are. They still have their costs associated with paying off a loan, and if they're not being able to, if it's an investment home or a home they live in, one, they're not being able to get a return on their money if you've got a 3/4 built home.
Yep.
Or you're not being able to enjoy the benefits of actually enjoying and living in that home.
Yep.
So that's one thing we've got a couple. Right. Well, we sort of pushed through that handover last night, and we've got one that's about 2 weeks away, which we're really doing all things that we can without, again, having 30 blokes on job site all over the top of each other. We're doing as much as we can, trying to push them through, get the trade out, get the next one in, so we can hopefully get these guys in. Get these guys into their home prior to, if we do go into more severe stages of sort of isolation.
Yeah. Well, makes it hard for everyone. So
and it's an unprecedented time too. So, like, nobody's been through this, so nobody knows what to expect, what's going to happen next,
or what to do either. Really, everyone's
exactly.
Just making it up on the go and just doing what you can do.
And you see the Prime Minister on, and then every night doing that. And I don't envy his job at all, because I think he's doing a fairly good job in the information that he's getting, but it just changes so rapidly, and they're doing the same sort of thing. They've got to pivot and be able to adapt to what happens next, and it is very trying times. So, but
and I suppose from a couple of concerns that maybe someone who's building or renovating or a homeowner's perspective, they may be slightly concerned on the builder they're using, or they could be potentially going broke or halfway through their project. Which it's not really a nice thing to talk about, but it is a reality. Someone may be facing, or a builder may be facing, because
for sure,
their overheads aren't stopping.
And I think traditionally the building business is one we do see the most businesses go under as well, and that's purely before that, just because of the building practices, and so builders get desperate and they're sort of chasing their tail and trying to sort of rob Peter to pay Paul, and that's just a never-ending cycle, and it ends up in doom and gloom. And that's, again, this COVID's only going to add to that as well. So, again, if you are thinking of building, if anybody is thinking of building, it's a conversation that you have to have. What measures does the builder have in place to make sure that they're going to be there come the end of this cycle? What are they doing to ensure that they can cover their costs? I know the QBCC did that a little bit at the end, in Queensland here at the end of last year, with your financial requirements, being able to prove them so you can cover your turnover and those sort of things.
Making sure the builder has the money in the bank basically to support what they're doing also.
But it is a conversation to have with your builder, because you don't want to be 3/4 way through your builder, and because your builders doesn't have a strategy to come out the end of it. They're sort of burying their head in the sand, crossing their fingers, and sort of closing their eyes and sort of wake me up when it's over, and we'll see what we can do then. Because it's only going to add to the heartache, and the reality is there is going to be heartache out there. But if you can basically try and put factors in to reduce or eliminate that, then it's going to only be beneficial, one, to the builder, two, to the contractors, but also to the clients building their home too.
And same as anything, prevention's better than cure, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And it's too late once you've been hit by it. Then that's too late. You need to try and
a lot. I think a lot of people forget about, or not forget, but because they're not 100% sure with a renovation or a building process, that there is a QBCC home warranty insurance in Queensland, which covers it. Basically, a lot of people aren't sure what that insurance covers, but basically it covers homeowners or people who are going through a renovating process or building anything over $3,300. Is designed to cover that homeowner from basically protecting them. It's nothing to do with the builder. A lot of people think it's to do with the builder's insurance, but all that is purely to do is just to protect the homeowner themselves from if their builder goes broke, runs off, can't finish their job and they're halfway through it. So that's a really important insurance that it's mandatory to pay. So it's a good thing to check that they have actually paid your QBCC home warranty insurance basically before your build goes ahead, really, too, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. As you just said, the builders don't get anything out of that protection-wise. That's purely there to protect the client around something going wrong with the builder. Falling over, not being able to finish it, doing a runner or whatever, those sort of things. But the equal protection is to have that conversation. Yeah, that's there. It's still, like all insurance, is a bit of a pain and something that you hope you never have to
last resort
call on. So you can sort of your own peace of mind and get that. I suppose a little bit more
certainty,
confidence. Confidence in your builder and certainty with your builder by having that conversation as well. So, and I suppose it's one of those things that is a red flag. If you do talk to your builder and they avoid it or they don't want to talk about it, then is that a red flag sort of moving forward with those guys, with that company or with the sole trader or anything like that? So there's a lot of things, like questions that clients should ask. And that's probably one that should get out. It'd be one that's avoided. And it is an uncomfortable question. It is an uncomfortable conversation. And vice versa, we have conversations around if clients aren't going through finance, which a lot do, but if they're a cash buyer, then we require them to show us, so we've got the confidence they do have the funds to complete this project as well. So it's all a two-way street. It's not the client expecting something of the builder and the builder sort of being their puppet or being their slave. It really needs to come together, and that's when the most success comes is when you're on the same page. You're more of a team. It's not a transactional relationship where I pay you to do this and you do this. You come together as a team.
Like you just said there, with them sharing sort of honesty and stuff there between each other, I think that comes down to trust too. So it's making sure they can find a builder they can trust to make sure that they feel secure and safe with what they're sharing the information, so they don't feel like they're getting taken advantage of either.
Exactly right. It's one thing to, like a real estate transaction where you're buying a property, 30 days, it's done and dusted, you're settled. When we're dealing with the builder, it's a prolonged relationship. It's through that design phase, it's through the construction phase, it's through the handover, the warranty, and then beyond as well, the maintenance along your home as well. So it's at least, I think, an 18-month journey that you're on with your builder. Then that's
a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you're from the outset dealing with somebody that the phone rings and you dread answering it, or
they never reply or never get back to you.
You don't feel comfortable talking to, then that's going to make that 18 months hell, and that's where the building nightmares come in. So and we tell our clients, our prospects, even before they become our clients, like, that conversation, your builder has to be the right fit for you guys. Otherwise, it's doom and gloom from the outset. Yep. It's not going to work. And we say, look, if we're not the people that you feel comfortable doing business with, then we'll try and help you out and get you
the right person
into a position. Yeah. Because we, again, on the flip side, your builder doesn't want to be like having to feel like it's a chore to deal with their clients. They want to have a great time doing it too. The less headaches, the more, I suppose, efficiencies in dealing with everyone and enjoying the process. It's beneficial for the builder as well. And it's a win-win for everyone.
I suppose the relationship you gain with your client, or the homeowner that gains a relationship with the builder as well, is also, if they get a better relationship, they're going to create a lot better connection, and there's going to be a lot better, what's the word I'm looking for? But provide a lot better, a lot better outcome, because that builder's going to want to go the extra mile and want to do the extra bit for them, rather than when it's a transactional sale, it's just here you go, this is it. Blah, blah, blah.
And unfortunately, the industry is, a lot of people will be treated as a number. They're a statistic on a budget sheet. So, and that's great. Some people want that. They just want to be build me a home, I'll come and get the keys when it's finished. But for a lot of people, it is an investment that they want to be involved with, and there's a lot of emotions that go into it, emotional attachment to the job, and especially when it's a home that these guys live in. Like they deserve to get a great result in all aspects of it, and the process particularly. So
definitely,
super important.
Well, and people that are sort of, obviously because of this coronavirus going around, there may have been some people looking at wanting to move forward with either renovating or starting a new build, which they might potentially wanting to hold off now. But it's obviously going to open a lot of opportunity with the spare time with people working from home or being in isolation. So this is probably like open a lot of opportunity to get creative and, search for online content out there for the ideas and start planning some things too.
And that's the most important process, I think, or the most important part of the process is that planning stage. And we've had a lot of clients come to us and they want to start building next week, and you've got to try and get them to take that step back and understand that, look, the more time and effort that we can put into this planning process, the better result you're going to get at the end of the day. And now that some of those physical things aren't going to be completed, as you said, the opportunity is there to get in and plan either a new home or a renovation, and communicate with the builder back and forward, because the ideas you'll be able to toss around and get onto paper is going to put you sort of in a far better position to move forward. And actually going ahead with these jobs as well, I think well, personally, like, I'm trying to do as much as I can in the construction of sort of new dwellings and portfolio stuff for ourselves, because traditionally after a crisis we saw after GFC, sort of that 18 months, 2 years, 3 years after that is when we see the biggest booms as well. So if you're in a position to be able to invest that money into your assets, because your home is an asset, it is a commodity that should be something to put you in a better financial position as you sort of go through your life. And if you can invest that into it now and then reap the rewards of what we'll see, well, not so much the property growth, but with all the stimulus that goes into the economy, all the money that's being produced to put in there, it does lead to inflation. So it's not so much that your dollars, your house is going up in value, but it's more so that your dollar doesn't buy as much. Like you might be paying, I don't know, $10 for a paddle pop or something in 5 years' time. So that in turn goes into your house as well. So your cash doesn't buy as much. So the cost of your home, you might have had a $500,000 home. If inflation goes through the roof after this, because of all the
stuff that's going on,
liquidity that's been put into the marketplace, then your house might be up to $600,000 in 5 years' time, where you still got that cash. If you are financing it, you've still got that same amount of loan, but you've picked up that $100,000 in equity. So
exactly right.
And that's improves your financial position, those sort of things, and sets you up, because we want to be in a point where it's getting harder and harder to retire as well. So it is a chat we have. We want to make sure that all the homes that we're building aren't going to be a financial burden on our clients. Sort of, you talk about overcapitalisation and those sort of things, to make sure that, if you do need to sell this home in 5 or 10 years' time, you're not going to be copping a 50 grand hit in your pocket, or 100,000 hit in your pocket. You want to make sure that's an asset to you, so you can move forward. And you're not stuck in any one position, and you move on to bigger and better things as your sort of family grows, as your life evolves, as you move up in the workforce, those sort of things. Definitely.
And like you said, after that GFC, one of the biggest booms and bounces back, and it's something like this isn't going to last forever. I think a lot of people get caught up in because the media just constantly talking about it. It's all in your face. People under a lot of stress, they think that this is the way life's going to be from here on in.
But, exactly. And as one of our mentors, Mick, said, the media is there to alarm you. They're there to sell papers. They do need to get that sort of scared emotion running to make money out of what they do. So, but it's not going to be something that lasts forever. and the opportunity is there now to do your research on the markets, go back, have a look at history and those sort of things, because it is, with everything that happens, one door closes, another one opens. There's always an opportunity at the end of the tunnel. So
yeah, exactly right. And I suppose if any people do have concerns or some worries with, if they are halfway through a building process, I think it's really important that they make sure and just address the conversations and what they're feeling to the builder they're dealing with, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Talk to your builder, and I'm more than happy to. We're going to open up sort of like a Q&A,
it's
as Paragon Homes for people all around Australia. We can't build everybody's home can't build everyone's home in Toowoomba, nor do we want to build everybody's home in Toowoomba. But what we can do is put a positive impact on people that are building a home, whether you're building a home up in Rocky or something like that, or doing a renovation.
Yep.
Someone over in Perth, someone in India or America, if they're doing something, and we're happy to have a chat, because we learn things as well from having conversations with people and their situations. And a lot of mistakes do get made. If we can learn from other people's mistakes, I'm happy to do that, because that means I don't have to make that mistake.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of my clients doesn't have to
feel the pain.
Go through that pain. Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't profess to be perfect either. We do make mistakes, and the thing is, if you do make mistakes, you need to be able to own them and then move forward, create a solution, and then put a process in place so it doesn't happen again, and the next person isn't going to feel that pain point. So
yeah, exactly. Right.
I would suggest having a chat firstly to your builder, because they should be able to help you out and be very forthcoming in that. But yeah, the podcast that you're doing right now, I absolutely love it. We're going to jump on board and do something very similar in the short term.
Yep.
Not in the short term, but happen very soon, and hopefully continue it over the long term. But just to be able to educate people and give them the information that's really what it's about. If we can positively affect somebody's experience,
as many people as possible.
Yeah.
But
that's
if you get at least one person, you've done something.
Exactly. Yeah. If they can ask a question to their builder, which gets them a better result, then that's awesome. Yeah,
that's exactly what it's all about. So
it certainly is.
But just basically, if you guys have any questions or comments, just post them in the section below, and we'll be more than happy to help. Just with COVID-19 and what's going on in the world at the moment, it's not going to last forever. It's just a matter of hanging out, fight or flight, basically surviving, doing what you can with what's available and the resources we have at the moment, which is looking like a lot of online technology. So that's pretty much it for this episode. This is Steve Glover from Paragon Homes. And whereabouts can you be found, Steve, if people are looking for more information about you?
Yeah, so I suppose Facebook's probably the best, just Paragon Homes. And we're based in Toowoomba. We do have a website on there as well, which gets updated through our socials, but we're really trying to be active on Facebook. So jump on there, search for us. If you want to give me a call, flick me an email, happy to do that as well. All the details will be on that Facebook or our website, and or vice versa. Yeah, as I said, drop a comment below. I'm not sure if this is going to Facebook or where we'll be found. Or
we'll post it up on Facebook anyway, and
streaming platform. Drop a comment below, and yourself too. You're a young guy coming through, but that can be. I suppose people can underestimate the amount of knowledge and value that you can add to there too, because I know we've picked up through the building group we're in together, massive amounts of information and things that you do through your processes that have benefited us as well. So, appreciate the opportunity to, I suppose, have a conversation. And, if there's anything we can do to help, we're here for you.
Yeah, awesome stuff. All right, Steve, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much, Joel.
That's it for this week's episode of What Builders Don't Tell Their Clients, brought to you by Refined Space Constructions. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Thank you for listening.